Well, a new report has revealed that a good number of U.S. drones are operating over Syrian territory. Now, the NBC report says the U.S. military and intelligence drones are monitoring what it calls the Syrian military attacks against opposition forces. It says Washington hopes to use the overhead evidence and communications to make a case for widespread international response against Syria. Now, according to the report, the White House, the State Department, and the Pentagon have lately discussed possible humanitarian missions in Syria. Now, the report says that such missions would almost be impossible without U.S. military intervention. Let's switch over to Beirut. We're joined by the director of the Center for Middle East Studies, Mr. Hisham Jaber. Thank you so much for being with us, sir. Mr. Jaber, tell me about this. When actually now openly it seems that more and more we're hearing reports about basically interference into Syria's sovereignty, what technically should be the reaction now of the Syrian government when parts of the international community, though, are claiming not to be interfering, but obviously when we're talking about drones and intelligence gathering, what should the Syrian reaction be at this point in time? And welcome to the program.
Yes, the first initiative the Syrians can do, and they have the right to do it, is to sue United States of America in case those information are sure about the aircraft spying the Syria and the armed forces of Syria. They can sue them before the international court. Second, Syria has the right to use military capability to disturb this mission and even to attack those aircrafts. By the way, talking about those aircrafts without a pilot spying Syria, we didn't know yet the kind of those aircraft, but I assume that this is MQ-9, which was controlling over Iraq the activities of the resistance against the American armed forces. MQ-9 is the 9th generation of MQ and is very sophisticated. It can bring video, very clear video film to the operation center, whether in the sea or on the land. And this aircraft can be leaded, by remote from hundreds of kilometers. And not only can bring video, live video films, but it can also the coordinate and the map, and they can determine the coordinate of every target on the Syrian land on the map. But, by the way, I have to remind here to remember that Hezbollah Iraq made a great success in interfering with this aircraft and with very low cost, and at the same time the picture was going to American Operation Center, then to Hezbollah in Iraq. In this case, I think the Syrian may use this technology, but until now I don't know what is the purpose of those aircraft to spy Syria.
Well, let's look at that. Let's exactly look at that point, Mr. Jaber. Let's reverse the roles a little bit. If what we're looking at in Syria, let's say something was like this was happening in the United States, and countries were sending drones or other things to spy on that country, what type of reaction would you expect from Washington?
I think it's normal. I'm not surprised that Washington sent drones and those aircraft to over Iran and to spy Iran. I'm not surprised that they are spying Syria, but I am surprised they did not deny this, for example, and they want to show the international society that they are doing something to help the opposition in Syria, since the NATO said that we are not going to interfere in Syria in any circumstances, since the Security Council refused any resolution may condemn Syria or allowed any country to interfere military in Syria. All what they are doing now, and I think it's psychological warfare, and they want to show, like they said, some journalists, the international society, that the Syrian army is killing the population, civilian population in Syria. In my opinion, it's not very important. Only in one single point, it's an invasion to sovereignty of independent country called Syria.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time because I would have liked you to cover, if the roles were reversed, what type of reaction we'd be seeing from the U.S., hopefully in another interview. Thank you so much, Mr. Hisham Jaber, the director of the Center for Middle East Studies in Beirut.